No.
Holy.
So dark.
What's that?
He's so dark.
Oh, I know, eh? Wow, let me
I
let me
can
lighten
see
things up a bit here.
I can see your headset.
That's what it is.
It's like incognito.
Um, okay, there we go. Oh,
There you are.
still pretty dark, eh?
Yeah, yeah. It's just because of the way you're facing. It might be the light that's going to your camera.
Oh, okay.
So like, can you turn? Can you face the
Yeah,
other
yeah,
way?
yeah. Let me just change seats here. Ugh, that's any brighter. Ugh.
Yeah, we'll see.
No, that's still pretty dark, eh?
No, there was there.
Yeah, there was some light, eh?
Yeah, for like 2 seconds, right, like right there. Why is
Okay.
that? I don't understand.
Where's the lighting person? We gotta fire the lighting.
Yeah, no doubt.
What the hell?
It's also probably because you're outside too. Oh, oh, oh! I bet you move a little bit, it's gonna change, but that's all right.
There we go. So I gotta just
There you go. Just gotta hunker down a little bit, you know. You gotta skulk around a bit.
seriously?
Yeah.
Wow.
There you go. You got it. Perfect.
Crazy.
uh, the glories of internet. So you had sent 3 topics. What were those 3 topics now?
I think racism and um
It was here. Racism. Where did you put it?
in the group text there for auto finance.
Yeah, I know I saw it before. Oh,
Yeah,
racism or
racism and the
salaries,
salaries and
retirement.
retirement. Yeah, yeah.
Nice. Oof. Oof. Those are all good topics. And then also you sent that video of EVs, and I have a, a different definite feel for EVs, like
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
in my
yeah.
chest.
Yeah, and I guess that's another good one too because which I mean, yeah, so many good topics because yeah, with the EVs,
Mhm.
um, it's where they're good in some senses, but you know, the production of them is bad.
Yeah.
I mean, like
Oh yeah.
you know, because
I,
and in both cases too, like even this hydrogen one is not environmentally friendly as it's you know it's all kind of the production of it creates a lot of environmental hazards. But yeah, you know, let's talk of racism since it's um
since it's the most obvious one.
yeah, yeah, and
Out of both of us, yeah.
it's
Gotcha.
one I've been unfortunate to experience myself a couple times, and
Couple times recently, or
no
okay.
years ago. There's like probably 30 something years ago, but that's how much it still kind of burns in me. And this was actually by Winnipeg police officer. And again, I don't know
Oh,
if it was
wow.
racism or just stereotyping, right? Or whatever it is. It's just not, it wasn't cool. And
Right. Well, you got the
and
former.
actually, you know what, I should take that back because honestly, I don't know if it was racism or if it was just what I was driving.
Oh, touche, touche.
You know what I mean?
Well, you know
Yeah.
what? Why don't you share the story, and then at the end we'll ask people to comment and what they feel.
Yeah.
So set the scene, my friend. When was this about? You said so about 30 years ago. So we're looking at
I was in my mid-20s. I had a Corvette. I picked up
late
my friend.
90s. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, or probably mid 90s or early 90s actually.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
Yeah, yeah, probably early 90s. Yeah, because I picked up my friend Mac from um, the gym.
Mac,
Um,
a black guy, a white guy.
Black guy. Yeah, yeah, and they
Okay.
lived in River Heights. Well, yeah,
Nice.
and and you know River Heights in the city here, and we're going to a gym on McPhillips, which is like about a 20-minute drive. And we got and he lived in River Heights, and so we got to like Polo Park, which was a good 15-minute ride. And it
Yeah.
was a good Friday. There's no cars on the road.
hmm
And so an unmarked car come, you know, like you know, I somehow usually smell them like a mile away.
Yeah.
You know, didn't think anything of it, and driving, and then
hmm
turned down Wall Street, to Notre Dame. I don't know if you remember these streets, anyways. And then,
Absolutely.
anyways, from Polo Park's about another 15-minute drive to the gym. So
Yep.
from picking up back was like half. So this cop followed us, and I knew he was following us because I'm familiar with their protocol. But I
Mhm.
started playing with him. I would change lanes, he would change lanes. I would change lanes, he would change lanes. I was
He's
like,
waiting for you to do something wrong.
what a
That's
fucking
what's
idiot!
happening.
This is how this guy's using my taxpayer dollars. This motherfucker. I'd rather he just pull me over, do his shit, and move on.
There you
Than
go.
I love that bridge, by the way.
Golden Gate.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Erin was, I think, wanting to go there. She's got some friends there. That's Pastor Brian, and I forget his wife Giselle. I think is his wife's name.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah. So um, we get to Logan about 5 minutes from the gym. He finally
Mhm.
puts his cherries on and pulls me over.
Okay.
And so, I had my license out already, probably 20 minutes early because I knew what was eventually going to happen. So,
Yeah. As a
so
brother, we know these things,
yeah,
right?
yeah. So I was like, is there a problem?
Mhm.
And this is the words that came out of this fucker's mouth. Typically, guys who drive red sports cars don't have driver's license. Or no, typically guys who drive sports cars don't have licenses. Just say red. Sports cars don't have a license. That's the best this guy could come up with. Okay.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so he, wasted a bit of time. I had, needless to say, the best workout ever because I was
Mhm.
fucking just fuming.
Of course.
I was just, because to me, do what you got to do. I respect, the job, and if you go, something doesn't look right, do it. But don't fucking follow me around town like a criminal. You know what I mean?
There you go.
They even done that to me one time after working like 12 hours and coming home, and follow me to my house, and I jumped on my car. What the fuck?
Yeah.
When the police, what the fuck who you are? Why are you following me? Like, what the fuck? Like, seriously, fuck off.
Exactly. No
And
doubt.
and so um anyways, about a week or two later,
Mhm.
I go to social, and I'm driving home. I'm just it had a digital dash so you can see the dash and everything. I'm
Mhm.
cruising down Main Street to the north end of the city, like McPhillips area there,
Right.
and I'm going down Main Street, and I see again an unmarked car off to the side.
Kicking it. Okay.
Yeah, and I saw it like 2 blocks away, right? So
Mhm.
I'm not looking to speed, and
Yeah.
plus I was just cruising home anyways, and so um, and again he pulls out cherries, so I pull over, cop comes to the window, I look, and I'm like, not you again, same
The
fucking guy
same
from a week,
guy.
same guy, except
Wow.
what comes out of his mouth is this time I got you for something. I'm like, get the fuck out of here, like seriously, I was like, get the fuck out of here.
I
So he writes
got
me up a ticket. And I'm
you.
just vibrating because knowing that this guy's just, and so I
Out to get
reported
you.
to, yeah, I went and reported to a law review agency. They took about a year to tell me, oh, it wasn't really racist and wasn't all that bullshit. Um, and about 2, 3 months after that incident, I saw the fucker running down, jogging down Main Street, and I pulled over and he just disappeared. And so, because I want to talk to him and say, hey, what's up? Like, seriously, what's wrong? Like, what is up with you,
Yeah.
my guy? And so, anyways, yeah, but that actually, I remember very clearly how burned I was over that incident because it felt so invasive. And here's
Mhm.
where I don't know how, don't get me wrong, like everyone's got some sort of stereotypes, like um prejudging, preconceived notions of people. I mean, I know there's black people in Africa that are prejudiced against other black people, depending on what regions they're from. You know what I
This
mean?
is true.
Like my
Yep.
like my mother calls these northern Ghanaians bush people. Like, I'm like, come on, seriously? Like, no, it's not like flat like a. And I don't know I don't know if you want to call that racism, but it's kind of like a
It's a
not.
prejudice, though. It's
It is
like
a prejudice.
it's
It is a prejudice because
separating people apart. Like my mom
no,
calls.
100% a prejudice because it's kind of a put down, right? You know what I
Of
mean? It's
course.
like
Yeah.
how some people might say, "Oh, natives are drunks," or Latinos are thieves and murderers, like Trump was saying, for example. Like
Yep.
that's stereotyping and a form of racism because you're segregating a certain class or race of people and combining them all.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Based on what they look like. Yeah.
Just
We're
based on
all
what they look like.
gangbangers, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Let's be honest. Like
Mhm.
Chinese, white, uh, anybody could be a gangbanger,
Yeah,
and anybody could be a hardworking motherfucker. You can't
this is
just,
true.
you
You
know,
can't just then
label somebody without actually, having a conversation with them or getting to know them.
exactly.
And so to prejudge someone just based on, and I get it too. Some people might have had some negative experiences with other people or someone of the same race at some point in time. So in their mind, you know, all niggers are niggers, or not in a good way, not like my nigga, but
Yeah, no, that was the other one.
you know what I mean? And that's what else we should talk about too is just the nigger and all the shit, because it was such a bad word. Why'd all these fucking rappers use it? It's the dumbest fucking thing ever. Like, no, lose it. You
Perpetuating
know what I
it
mean? Like,
and
make up your fucking
allowing
mind.
people
But here's where
okay.
people need, yeah, but here's where again people need to grow the fuck up, in my opinion, because it's kind of like, you know what? I'll call a white person my nigger. It's like my brother. It's a word. It's just a fucking word. Like, I
Yeah,
come from the school sticks and stones. Names are just names. But if you call me like, hey, you fucking nigger, then we could have a talk, or or we're gonna throw
there
it
you
down, or
go.
whatever. You know what I mean? So if you
Yeah,
say it in
yeah.
an aggressive or hateful way, there's a difference, and that's what people get to figure out as a difference, right? It's like this country singer, Morgan Wallen, not too long ago, called a white friend of his my nigger. Well, this got
Did
on
he?
some. Did you hear about this?
No, I did not.
No? Oh,
That's
Google it.
classic.
Well,
All right.
the guy almost got canceled and all this other shit.
Of
And I'm
course,
thinking like
cancel culture.
this is just too much. It's just stupid. And then TMZ, don't get me wrong, I respect those guys. Harvey Levin and what's the black guy's name there even? I forget. Anyways.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah,
know
anyways.
TMZ
They're
people.
all,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
no white person could use that word. No one can, that word. But yet
Hmm.
they're very okay with black people using that word.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? If it is such a derogatory word, should nobody should be using it.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
At one point in time, I want to say this was like the 2010s, or maybe it was like early 2000s, but not predating the 90s.
Yeah.
Oprah, Michael Jordan, Denzel Washington, I think, all of them tried to kind of ban that word, right? But
Hmm.
it just never ever took, because, like, of course, our hip hop culture and everything like that uses a variation of that, and then anybody that's ever caught saying nigger.
No, not anybody. If you're white,
Well, this is true,
okay.
but
If you're
some
white,
dudes,
but here's where I use that word, like
yeah,
um almost on purpose sometimes, just to
mm-hmm,
get a reaction. Not even like,
that's
uh,
fair.
and I've had white people like almost like, hey, don't say that word. Shut the fuck up. I'll say the word I want. You know what I mean? Like I'm not about hate. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
And so,
I
and
hear you.
I'm not calling black. I'm calling them, yo, my nigger. You know what I mean? It's kind of because it's like my
Yeah,
brother, right?
right.
Right? You know what
But
I mean? I'm not
but
saying, yo,
usually it's supposed to
I'm not,
be my nigga.
yeah, I'm not saying, yo,
Not,
you
yeah,
fucking nigger. You know what I mean?
yeah, exactly.
That's like a insult, right?
Of
Right? It's
course.
like my nigger.
Yeah.
And so, or I'm not saying like my nigger, like my back, like my dog, or you know what I mean? Like, or like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Just yo, my nigga. And and honestly, to me, it's like the yin and yang in life, and people just need to really grow up and kind of read the room in terms of like the context, right? And so, if
Mhm.
someone's just people need to chill the fuck out,
They do.
and don't get me wrong, I know there's hateful people out there, but people, I just can't comprehend how people can't tell the difference between hate, and I know the word originated from hate, but doesn't
Yeah.
mean it has to stay from hate, okay?
No,
Because
it
eh,
doesn't.
you know, um, it just it actually it was a variation from a French word called, I think, negro,
Well, noir or
noir,
black.
something like that. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
right, noir.
And it also, I want to say, and I'm gonna actually look that up real quick too.
Yeah,
But
that's exactly what I was doing right now.
I was thinking it said at one point in time, it's when they were trying to say like Caucasian and Asian, and then there's Negroid and stuff like that. But the root word is French, which is
Yeah,
noir.
yeah.
Um, but let's see, Negro.
Like, and you know what's really weird though about that
Hmm.
is in going the reverse way,
Hmm.
the word honky to me is not It's not, for some reason, not flattering at all in any way, shape, or form. You know what I mean? Like, there's no way, to me, I feel I could say that without it being insulting. So I guess, because I've never, I guess, myself used that in a polite way. You know what I mean?
Right.
Right?
Right.
And I
Right.
guess we could just like Negro though, but really for some reason, the word honky, anytime that comes out of my mouth, it's not.
It feels wrong.
No, it doesn't feel wrong. I'm insulting you. Like you did something to piss me
Okay.
off.
Yeah.
Okay? Yeah,
It's full on.
yeah,
I'm going
yeah,
to call you
yeah,
honky
yeah, yeah,
because
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
not
yeah,
liking you right now. I feel
yeah.
you. I feel
Right?
you.
When it comes from me.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but but it's not racism. It's just, like I'm giving something
I'm
back.
pissed. Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
pissed
Yeah.
and I'm giving something back.
I feel
Not
you. I
I'm
feel
not
you.
starting it. I'm just giving it back.
There you go. There you
Um,
go.
but that being said, I guess it could be used same as the word Negro or nigger is, yo, my nigger, yo, my honky, I guess. But
Yeah. There you
it just doesn't
go.
happen. You know what I mean?
But it doesn't
But
feel as flowish, you know?
well,
It doesn't feel
yeah,
like
right.
it's
But
connected.
the usual, I guess, the culture of the rap industry and or whatever has made it cool, maybe to a sense where, you
Oh,
know,
of course.
um, where it's got that double entendre meaning, right? Whereas
Yeah.
honky is just honky. You know,
Yeah, exactly. And it
yo,
just
my
means
honky.
something. Yeah, exactly. It's just like, no, that doesn't work.
Doesn't work. No, no. Uh, um,
And I
but
found
yeah,
the
no.
origins of the word. Like it says, Negro denotes black in Spanish and Portuguese. So not French. We were
Oh,
browns.
yes, Spanish. That's it. I thought French,
Derived,
but
and it
close enough.
derived from the Latin word nigger, or actually, it doesn't have double G. It's just one G,
Yes.
Niger,
Yeah.
meaning black, which itself is probably from the Proto-Indo-European root.
Yeah.
Wow,
And
they go
so
way far back,
no,
eh?
no, no. Say that again. Say that again. Let's say it loud, please. Say it very loud. No,
Derived
please.
from the
Wait,
Latin.
wait.
Yeah,
Black people, specifically Black Americans, I hope you're listening to this. Go.
yeah. Right on. So, Negro denotes black in Spanish and Portuguese,
Yeah.
derived from the Latin word nigger, meaning black, which itself is probably from the Proto-Indo-European root.
Okay.
And
So
that's from Google itself.
and here's where I remember my kids when they were I think my son was like 7 and my daughter was like 4 or 5. So
Mm-hmm.
they're young anyways. And we're watching TV and the news came on and they're talking about, black man or this and that. It wasn't positive though, but it was something. They
Of
heard the
course.
word black. That's all they heard.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, why are they saying black? He's not black. He's brown. Do you know
There
what I
you
mean?
go. Yeah.
Like really, it's brown. If you want to, uh,
It's like the
you know,
color purple. Remember
yeah,
that
but
movie?
yeah,
Yeah. It's just
but
like, you're pink. I
yeah,
remember. Oh, that
yeah,
was that on the color purple? I remember. Oh no, that was Stephen Biko. What was that movie called? I cannot remember. But he said like he was in a court
yeah,
at the time. The way the scene works, and then they're like the defense, I think, or no, maybe it was the plaintiff or something like that. Why do you people call yourself black? Aren't you more brown or whatever?
absolutely,
And then Stephen Biko turns to the white guy and says, "Aren't you more pink than you
yeah,
are white?"
absolutely,
It
absolutely.
was such
And
a
well,
funny.
no, absolutely, because here's
Yeah,
where
it was.
even my kids then were okay. Well, if you're brown or black, and they call themselves golden, right? Because they're mixed, right? Then they're like, yeah, and then
Nice.
so then what is mom?
Ah,
Like you're just talking about. And
yeah.
so my best response was she's just a lighter shade of brown,
Touche. Touche. I
right?
was gonna ask you about your kids because
Yeah,
like they should be facing something that's kind of completely different but the same. Because I mean, like if your son goes down to the United States, they're not checking that part of him is white. They're just gonna be
no,
like,
for sure,
this kid is black.
yeah,
You know what
yeah,
I mean? It
and
never
usually
goes the other way. It
and
never
usually
ever does.
touch wood. Like anytime they've been in the States, they've been with us, like they,
Mm-hmm.
or one of us.
Yeah.
And even myself right now, I avoid the States like the plague. I hate what they stand for. And
Mm-hmm.
so, like, if I'm flying internationally, I'll purposely make sure my flight does not go through the States because I'm so sick of their bullshit. I
That's
I
right.
really, beautiful country,
Yeah.
landscape, but the people are dumb as fuck. Like generally, don't get me wrong, they're entrepreneurial, they're so prehistoric in some ways, and the
yeah.
fact that
In some of their ideologies and things
it's
like
just
that,
retards, just
and
retards.
where,
No,
but you know
just
what? It's mostly who they film. You know what I
who
mean?
they what?
Who they film, because the state seems to be more about like that shock value, right? Like when they
Well,
had Donald Trump in office, it was more shock value. If
well,
it was,
yeah,
you
it was
know,
shock value, but it's also just to me to have somebody in that high office displaying that level of stupidity and ignorance. And I don't care if it's like smoke screens or I don't care if it's like trying to draw attention from the bullshit they're really doing. It's
mhm,
still not cool. That fucker should have been let go just for fucking calling Mexicans rapists and thieves and all that shit and calling Africa a shithole country because somebody in that position should not
mhm.
be talking that kind of shit. Period.
This is
Okay?
true.
Should be more
I get you.
respectful.
Yeah.
Should be more respectful, especially when it's stealing resources from all those countries that he's talking shit about.
Oh,
Period.
of course.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
I mean, and then on
Yeah.
top of it, um, like and again, don't get me wrong, America has done very well, even though the country's in debt just like Canada is.
Hey man, they
But
write, they print money.
but I don't think
That's where we learned it from.
yeah, I don't think I'd survive there very long because I'd either be killing or somebody be killing me. Like that's just the way I would not put up with that shit at all. It's just something that's not cool, and the fact that uh I'm actually sometimes shocked that not every black person that doesn't exodus out of that fucking country. Seriously.
It's tough. I mean, like, like black people have been, so Black Wall Street was destroyed because black people were getting too far ahead, and this was like what, I want to say late 1800s that
Yeah.
happened. Even like, I don't think I'll ever live back in the United States again, but I've lived there. I've
Yeah.
had wickedly positive experiences there, but those negative experiences, they kind of weigh on me. So, for
Yeah.
example, when I wasn't living there at the time, I flew into Dallas with my girlfriend at the time,
Mhm.
to go and drive to Corpus Christi, which
Yeah.
is a pristine and beautiful, beautiful place.
Yeah.
Corpus Christi, just so you know, Corpus Christi, or like South Padre Island, is essentially like Mexico on the coast of Texas.
Yeah.
There's a
Yeah.
great big Jesus like bridge, just like the Golden Gate Bridge, that's
Oh yeah.
attaching that long ass island.
Oh yeah.
Anyways, I was driving from Dallas to Corpus Christi, which, unbeknownst to me, I did not know at the time that was going to take me 11 hours because Google was in its infancy. So, like, we're going back, like, I want to say this is 2005. So I shouldn't say Google was an infant, but Google Maps and crazy things
Yeah.
like
Yeah. Yeah.
that,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
not so much prevalent, right?
Yeah.
Anyways,
But
I'm
you didn't
driving.
have the paper map though. I mean.
Yeah, exactly. I had one of those whatever atlases they had and
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
I'm driving with my girlfriend and she's sleeping. She's a white girl. She's sleeping in the seat next to me. And keep in mind, people are just ripping by me.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
But I'm driving while black. So what ends up happening? I'm
Yeah.
driving a rental car. Keep this in mind. I'm driving a rental car. I'm going from Dallas to Corpus Christi, and then all of a sudden I'm stopped. And I'm like, okay, this is an interesting thing. And this guy, he's a state trooper. He gets out on his loud like boom mic or whatever the hell you want to call it, like,
Yeah.
and he's just like, stick your hand outside of the vehicle,
Wow.
unlock your door, and face your head on the hood of the car. This is what happened to me. And I'm like,
Wow.
wow, this is pretty crazy. So I'm like laying on top of this
Holy
hood,
fuck.
trying not to say the wrong thing, not to get
Like,
shot. And keep in mind, this girl is sleeping
did
still.
you drive? Like, did you make a wrong turn? Did you go through a red light? Were you speeding?
No, I was not
Wow.
speeding. People were
Wow.
ripping by me. The posted speed limit was, I want to say,
Yeah. Yeah. So
actually, no, there was a minimum there. So the
yeah.
minimum
So
was probably like 55 or something like that, and
yeah.
the
Yeah. Yeah.
maximum might have been
But your crime
85, and I was
crime
well within. Yeah,
your crime was DWB.
that's right. However,
driving while black,
yeah, exactly. So I'm on the hood like
or
this,
brown, whichever one.
whichever one, whatever color. Like I'm more of a caramel, so maybe caramel
Well,
might be
caramel.
more politically correct and everything. So my caramel
The
ass is
caramel guy
on.
robbed the bank.
That's right. So my caramel ass is on the freaking hood like this, and he comes around. He like pats me down. You have any weapons? I got nothing. He's like, what's in your like passenger seat? I'm like, well, that's my girlfriend. He's like, why isn't she moving? Well, she's sleeping. And I'm saying this while I'm facing this thing, and people are ripping by, and I'm like, oh man, I'm just another brother getting stopped by a cop. And this
Well,
guy,
that's the other well, and it's not just that. It's the fact that I'm assuming your girl was white.
yeah, she is.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
so, actually, I think
She
you
was,
did say she was white, but or I can't remember if you did or not. But anyways, because that is the other problem is some of these fuckers hate seeing a brother with a white girl.
this is true. And you know what? It's funny in the States when I used to run into, because keep in mind in 2005, like interracial couples were not as prevalent. Now it's more prevalent.
No, for sure, but
Um,
the
but
stigma is
then,
still there.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
and
Not
I
as
was
much in
even
Canada, but more down. Yeah, yeah,
exactly, and I was even getting stink eyed by black people down there. So
yeah,
I couldn't fit anywhere because myself as a couple with her, the cops didn't like it, and
yeah,
neither did the freaking black community down there.
yeah, 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 yeah,
They're
yeah.
like, who's this fair skinned Negro with this white girl and whatever, right?
Yeah.
So it was some funny stuff. Like the second that I landed in Dallas, I was getting stink eyed by a lot of sisters that are out there, and I was like, you know, you don't even know me. I'm coming from Canada. It's different here. It's different.
No, it doesn't matter because yeah, same. I used to drive from Winnipeg to Galveston. It was
Oh
just,
yeah, Texas.
just again, yeah, just love the highway. And so yeah, I've been through Corpus Christi, Dallas, and all that kind of stuff. And we talk about
Yeah.
Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
I remember going to I think it was a Denny's or some sort of breakfast place. I think it was a Denny's or IHOP or
Oh,
I think it
it's
was a
usually
Denny's.
a Denny's. Usually,
And
I've had bad
I was
experiences
with
with Denny's.
my white girlfriend at the time,
Mm-hmm.
and we walked in, and
Everybody's probably like,
everyone black and white. It was mostly people serving were black, and mostly
yeah,
features were white. And we
yeah,
walked in, and all eyes like, whoop.
yeah, exactly.
It was like
This ain't right.
I felt like I was in 1926 or something. You know what I mean?
You got that
Like
right.
or 1910. It was like what the hell does this nigga think he's doing? Like what?
Shouldn't he be eating in the back of the restaurant? What the hell?
Yeah, shouldn't be yeah, like read the room, motherfucker. And so and so and so we and she felt it too. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Oh,
And
for
so we
sure.
walked to the back of the restaurant,
Yeah.
took a seat,
Mm-hmm.
and all eyes were still on us. We
Yep.
looked at each other and we just got up and left.
Oh, for sure. They do not make it comforting.
No,
None,
no.
not
Well, it's
even
just
in the least, right?
but you know, and again, you know, sometimes when I reflect back at that moment, I wish I would have said, "Take a picture, will last longer, motherfuckers." Like I should just, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, you should have been like brash and stuff, right?
yeah.
I feel you.
But
I feel
again,
you.
maybe it wasn't about racism. Maybe I don't know. Maybe they thought I was O.J. Simpson or something. I don't know. Or Emmett Smith. Emmett Smith. Yeah, I've gotten that Emmett Smith.
There you go. There you go. There you go.
I remember years ago we were in the Dominican and he was a Yankee because he had that draw, y'all, how y'all doing, you know? He kept we were by the poolside. The Dominican is like Emmett, and I'm wondering who the fuck's this motherfucker talking to? Like who's he calling Emmett?
Yeah, they're like they all look alike, don't they?
Yeah,
Damn it.
exactly, exactly. But
Should have
yeah,
rocked
no,
out a Super Bowl ring for him.
yeah. But yeah, no, it's kind of sad because let's face, like we all have our prejudices and biases, but I know I do. I would say prejudice, but biases, like you know, um,
Like even
how
in
do you
there,
put it?
yeah.
But the difference is when you want to get in someone's face and pure hate. You know what I
Of
mean?
course, yeah. It's
Like
where you don't find understanding or don't
yeah,
find
yeah, or
um Like you're
Respect,
not,
just respect, just
yeah,
respect. Like
exactly.
you don't have to
You're
like
not even
somebody.
trying to
Yeah,
listen.
you don't have to
Yeah,
like a culture. You don't have to like a certain race, but
no,
at least don't try to like harm them or go out of your way um um to get in their face or
yeah.
feel
It's
like
all
you have
about
more.
tolerance.
Yeah, or feel like you have more of a right
Right.
to a certain area,
Hmm.
a certain thing than
Yeah.
any other race,
There you go.
right?
Like, I never see something I learned a long, long time ago from my mother. She said to me, "Look, son, you're different. You're born different. Not everybody's gonna like you. And that's okay. And they might not like you, even like black to black people, white to black people,
Yeah,
whatever. Not everybody's gonna like you,
but
but
bro,
as long as they have tolerance,
and
then
respect,
you
and respect,
can,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
But again,
You can
and
get along, right?
here's where it goes back to that old adage for me, which unfortunately a lot of people don't practice, which is do unto others as you'd have them do unto you. You know what I mean?
Oh
Because I'm
yeah.
not gonna punch you in the face. I don't want you to punch me in the face. You know what I mean?
No.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, and I'm not gonna be out hating on people because I don't want people out hating on me or going out of their way to try to get in my face. Because
Exactly. No.
go about your business. We don't have to like each other. You live your life, I'll live my life. You walk that side of the street, I'll walk the side, or we can walk on
There
the
you
same
go.
side. Just don't talk to me, and I won't talk
That's
to you.
right.
You know what I mean?
Easy
Easy
peasy,
peasy.
man.
Life
Yeah.
goes on. Have a nice life.
That's right. And
But no,
it,
no, unfortunately, it
it's
doesn't
not
always
like
work
that.
that way. No,
But there's so much hate out there,
no,
and it seems like it's so much easier to hate
yeah,
people nowadays. Like
yeah,
it's so messed up. I
yeah.
feel for your kids because I mean, like, how do they identify in
Well,
terms of like race?
see, actually, they're
Like,
probably in the here's where, yeah, in the States they would identify, or they would be identified as black before white, and
oh
probably
yeah,
even here.
100%.
But
Yeah,
but I think it's probably getting a little bit better. And I think they're probably in a better situation than what we are, or we were, or are. I remember years ago when I moved to Regina, actually 2001,
hmm,
with AmeriCredit, which was a vehicle finance company, to open up the territory. And I was dating my kid's mom at the time, and so um, we had a place here, and so I went ahead there to get set up. I was there probably about a month before she got there.
yeah,
But while that month I was there, I was coming and going and seeing all the neighbors. Nobody said a thing. The minute she arrives, flowers and welcome and this
yeah.
and that.
They're like, oh,
And she's
he's
white, by the way.
okay now.
So
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
exactly. Yeah, yeah,
She legitimized me or something.
yeah, yeah.
You know what I
She
mean?
gave you street cred in that
Yeah,
area.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
he's
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
He's
It was
not just the
funny.
mover, people, and he's not just the like the like the gardener or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
Funny stuff,
So,
man.
oh, I'm telling you. Um, but yeah, it was
I've even had that happen out here. Like people thought I was LJ's mover. Like
wow.
that's straight up like, oh, you're moving in the neighborhood,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
or no, you're um, who are the new owners of the home? Because keep in mind, on this street,
Yeah.
it was us. No, there were three other places before us, and then us. So we were
Yeah.
a fourth house on the thing, and the people had come around, and they're like, "Oh, so you're helping this couple move in? Or are they a nice couple?" I was like, "No, I'm part of this couple. I'm
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
right
yeah,
here."
yeah, yeah.
But then now my whole neighborhood is like, it's. I have to admit, it is probably the most mixed neighborhood I've seen in Calgary
Oh,
ever.
nice.
Because
Nice.
on my street alone, it's like there are Mandarin speaking Chinese people. There's people directly from Hong Kong.
Hmm.
And I had to make that distinction because they don't like being coupled together. And those are two different households. There's a Japanese woman that's with a white guy that's on the end of my street. There's several African families. There's several white families. So the whole, like, even my whole street is a microcosm of the world because it's like,
Hmm.
you got East Indian, you got like black, you got like everybody, and everybody's living in harmony, and it's pretty
Yeah,
kind of
yeah,
cool. And
yeah.
nobody's like, I didn't see like a huge amount of like for sale signs as soon as like, the next black
Yeah, yeah.
couple came in, or family or something like that. So it's kind of interesting. But then some of the neighborhoods that I have lived in here are predominantly white. Like when I used to live out in Discovery Ridge. At that point in time, it was pretty pretty completely white, and that was just in 2008. Tuscany was a nice mix, but it was mostly Asian and white people, and then little sprinkling here and there of black people.
Yeah.
So it's coming a long way. I feel that the Northwest is like that, like in terms of the quadrant, and then other quadrants are going to be different. Like it's never going to be as diverse as the Northeast. The Northeast is probably by far the most, but then if you go to the Southwest, it's going to be predominantly white. It's an interesting demographic that's out here. And Southeast is kind of interesting too, because it's a little bit of a mix. It's kind of like here, but not quite as mixed. So it's different.
To be honest with you, it'd be nice to be rich enough to give every white person, in particular, white American police officers that wish to do so, a round trip to Africa or to Ghana, so they can experience the hospitality, and so they can get a feel for how it feels to stick out like a sore thumb.
Being the minority.
Exactly.
Very true.
But yet being treated with respect and and being treated
nothing but love, right?
Nothing but love. Nothing but love. Right? And but again, I think most of the white people that have been there have experienced that or seen that, because our people, and I say our people, Africans are for the most part very respectful, very
hospitable.
Hospitable, sure. Yeah. Especially, they're probably actually assholes to their neighbors, but they're an outsider. Oh, hey, at the same want to say, hey, welcome, Africa, welcome, my home, my wife. What did you like? My bed, anything, what do you want? My gold, my diamonds, my oil. What do you want? What do you want? How can I help you?
No doubt. That reminded me of actually living in Japan. When I was out there, it was like, until I learned how to speak Japanese, it was an interesting thing, because I thought, all Japanese people just love everybody.
Yeah.
Hell no, they don't love everybody.
No.
They liked me, some of them, but then they're like, behind doors, they just didn't like Americans. They didn't like Canadians. They weren't even looking at race. They're like, why the hell are you here in my country? But it's so interesting, because there's I think there's 139 or 180 million, somewhere in that neighborhood. They have a huge population, and only 1% is, and when I say 1%, that's if you're from China, from Korea, you're from Africa, you're from Canada, you're from Ireland. At the time, that's all we made up. Like tourism or people living there, 1%. Everybody else, 99% of that was your full-fledged Japanese. Like that's a baffling number. Like, and these people thrive.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And it befuddles me. I cannot. I don't understand how that works, but it does. One thing I realized about people that travel, and maybe you agree or maybe you don't, so you let me know. But I feel that people that have traveled to countries that are not their own, tend to be the most tolerant people that we have on our planet.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, you have to be tolerant to want to travel. I think in the first place, like you have to have this inner tolerance, if you will. Yeah, because 100%, 100%, I agree with you there. But that being said, it's also trying to understand the culture, or having some idea of the culture. Because, for example, like in my country, in Ghana, there's white people, there's Chinese people, there's East Indian people, there's Chinese restaurants, there's KFC, Burger King, all that kind of stuff. But if you go to certain areas, it's predominantly black, just like you go someplace here, it's predominantly white. And but there too, it's my country, it's a little over 30 million people, I believe, or close to 30 million right now.
Yeah.
But they use the word brony. brony. Like if they see a white person, hey, brony, brony, brony,
Oh,
brony,
really?
brony. And brony is like basically white. It means
Oh,
white.
no way.
Yeah, brony.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's spelled Broni, but it means
Okay.
white in my
Nice.
culture. But or in tree, it's called tree, but it's not at
Mhm.
all like saying call someone nigger. It's just hey, there's a white person. Hey, what?
That's right.
They don't know your name, so so you as a white person you hear that a lot, like brony, brony. Ask you can ask Aaron about that. I think I heard a lot of brony, 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 and
Yeah.
I think that people are being insulting, but no, they're just hey,
For
they're
identifying the person
identifying
that
you.
sticks
Yeah,
out.
yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah, yeah. So there's a
I get
difference,
you.
there's a difference.
Yeah. That's exactly how it was for me in Japan. They
Yeah.
called me Guy Kokojin. So
Guy what?
Guy Kokojin. So
Guy Coco Jin.
Guy Jin is
Yeah.
foreigner.
Okay.
Coco is chocolate.
Chocolate, yes.
So rough translation, chocolate foreigner. Because keep in mind they're not their vocabulary, but their dialect is kind of backwards to
Yeah, yeah,
our
yeah,
own.
yeah, yeah. Kind of like
So
French.
like yeah, exactly. So like
Yeah.
the rough translation would be chocolate foreigner. So I would
Oh, I
hear
think that's what I'm
that
gonna call you
all
from
the
now on. I'm gonna call you Chocolate Foreigner.
yeah, no worries, man. But I told you I identify as caramel. Come on,
Caramel, yeah, yeah.
caramel, not chocolate.
Caramel Foreigner.
That's right. Caramel foreigner. That's acceptable, okay? That's what I accept. That's my pronoun, okay? But yeah, they called me Guy Coaching. Everybody that saw me, and I was like, "Why the hell is this Guy Coaching? What does this mean?" And I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh wait." As I learned the language, I was like, "Oh, chocolate foreigner. How could I have not got that?" Cocoa, because cocoa's everywhere.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
They
yeah.
call cocoa what's it called? Gravy. So the
Okay.
browner, there's
Oh
like
yeah, yeah, yeah,
place
yeah, yes.
called Coco's
Yeah,
out
so it's a
there.
way to describe anything that's brown, kind of,
Correct.
or caramel.
Yeah, exactly. Caramel. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I can accept that. But it's
Uh,
wild. So what do you think
yeah.
your kids are feeling? Like, did they have any sort of like racial issues
No,
going
no,
through high school or
no,
any
no,
or
no, no,
school?
none at all that I'm aware of. Thank goodness. I think I might have heard about it, and I mean, here's the same thing. I honestly didn't experience any racism at all through, touch wood.
Is it that you
Um,
didn't experience or you don't remember?
no,
What did you
I
think?
would remember, but yeah,
Yeah, you
no,
probably would.
like, because I'm not about hate, so I definitely can, smell hate like a mile away, and
Mm-hmm.
that cop incident was probably one of the first times I've ever felt that. Yeah, which because for myself, I work so hard to be respectful and to not do anything, like I said, to you that I would want you to do to me. So when
No,
someone's
of
doing
course.
something to me that I know is
Yeah.
invasive, it's
Yeah, you're gonna step up. You're gonna be like,
yeah,
what's going
yeah, and I
on?
mean,
And then you're gonna give it back
well,
as good as
Malcolm, to
you're
the point
getting.
where, yeah, like I mean, I like my sports cars, I like my flashy cars, but now I just kind of try to just blend in. That's kind of, yeah, seriously, that's all fucked up it is because um and again, I don't know if it's, I can't I don't here's where I don't know if it's racism or if it's just more kind of like a uh uh you know uh, who the fuck does this guy think he is driving what he's driving, maybe, you know what I mean? Because
Yeah,
a lot of my things was experienced with the police here. At least I wasn't shot or
that's true.
just detained, like some
Hmm.
of our brothers down south. But
Yep.
it's still like, and here's where, when I think about it, like I remember this one fucking guy pulled me over on Pemmican. I had a white Escalade at the time, these 24-inch rims on it. I'll send you a picture. And this was a
Yeah.
Philippine cop, and he was like, "Wow, those those what do you say? Oh, those rims must have cost you." I can't remember what he said, something about my rims.
Hmm.
Like that's the first words out of this fucking guy's mouth. The guy pulls me over and wants to talk about my rims. Fuck you. What do you
Yeah.
want? I got
Yeah,
shit to do.
exactly. Why did you stop me, officer?
Yeah, you
Give
just
me
want to
a
have a
ticket or get the
conversation?
fuck out.
Yeah,
Yeah, no
yeah.
doubt.
I'll give you the number here. Go get fucking set for your fucking cruiser. Fuck off.
Hey, but sometimes those cops, like I don't care what race they are, they're always trying to be your buddy. I don't
Well,
understand that. Just do your transaction and just leave me alone. Go away. You know,
see,
that's
here's
my
where no, I
thought.
met some friendlies, and I do know a few from the gym and that kind of thing, and there's some
Hmm.
cool ones. There's someone very
Oh,
down to
there's
earth,
awesome ones.
and
Yeah.
sometimes I'll pull up beside on some. and hey, hi, nod, just how you doing type thing, right?
Hmm.
But then you get some idiots that are just like bored and just something to do, and it's kind
Yeah,
of sad to the point where certain times of the night you want to catch them in the road because it's
right.
not worth the hassle or the headache. You know what I mean?
Makes
And
sense.
which is
Yeah.
basically from like 1 or 2 till like 3 or 4. Like if I'm out somewhere, I'm staying where I'm at, or I'll wait till like 5 o'clock because usually that's when the night shift wants to get home and
Yeah.
get back to the station and in
They're gonna
Winnipeg
leave you
anyways.
alone.
So yeah,
Yep.
exactly.
And what you said about that cop, like I had a similar incident where, it's interesting that sometimes these individual cops, and just like you said, not all cops are like this, but those ones that, they have that prejudice or racist edge to them,
Yeah,
they actually go against what they're taught because like you're not supposed to go from district like so you said you went from River East to basically St. James, right?
yeah, yeah.
They're not supposed to be crossing like you
Or
didn't do
River
anything,
East to um almost the Maples.
right? They're
Yeah,
not they're not supposed to
yeah.
do anything like if you've not done anything wrong, they're not supposed to be like following you all
Oh
that
yeah, no,
way
that's what I
unless
mean.
you're a
Well,
person
don't get me
of
wrong. Like
interest
they
or
can
something.
use whatever, like they can use suspicion and all
Oh,
that
of
kind of
course
stuff.
they
And
will.
believe it or
Yeah.
not, I actually have a tolerance for them trying to do their job because say my vehicle could be stolen. They might,
Hmm.
if it's just, but don't do it because you're fucking trying to justify your fucking existence or you got nothing, or you're trying to like justify your minutes on the clock, or trying to like look like you're trying to log like your job. You're trying to justify your job. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because no, there's not if there's peace, that's okay. You
Hmm.
don't look for shit and then get paranoid to shoot somebody or try to cause shit because you're looking for shit to do to
Yeah, I
fucking
know.
have something to go talk to your wife about or talk to your buddies about. Yeah, this is what I did on my shift. Shut the fuck up. You know what I mean?
Yep. I know what you mean. And the similar thing happened to me. They tailed me from what is that, Corden area,
Yeah,
all the way to Transcona. You know how
yeah.
far that is to come?
Oh, I
And
know,
then
dude.
the
I
funny
know.
thing is, when they
Yeah.
stopped me at the back lane of my mom's house. So one
Wow.
car comes into my mom's like driveway when I'm about to go and turn, and
Wow.
then the other one comes from behind
See,
me, and I was just like,
that is a form of
interesting.
harassment right there to me as far as I'm fucking concerned. Because like I said, you know what?
Mm.
If once they start following, and you know when they start following you, once
Oh yeah.
you've gotten their attention, or and so to me, and I know sometimes they take a while punching your plates in and doing all that kind of shit, and I know they're sitting there trying to fucking think in their head what kind of stupid shit can we come up with to justify this fucking bullshit. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
exactly. Because
But
why did I follow this guy?
but it takes you half an hour to
Yeah.
come up with that shit. You should be behind a fucking desk. Shut up.
Yeah. Oh
You know what I
yeah,
mean?
for sure.
Like
And
you should not be carrying a gun and walking the streets or
no.
driving down the streets. You know what I mean? Because like I
Yeah.
said, for myself, I don't mind if they
Hmm.
pull me over and do whatever they can do within a reasonable time, reasonable fashion, and
Yeah.
don't disrespect me as a human being. You know what I mean? Because then
There you go.
you're just being a fucking idiot.
Exactly. And for me, if I'm speeding, then give me the ticket and go away. But I wasn't
Exactly.
speeding because I knew the dude was behind me. I
Yeah.
didn't realize he followed me that far, and then he radioed to another team of
Yeah.
cops, right?
Yeah.
And so that's why they cut me off at my mom's house. And the
Yeah.
funny thing was, like, so I get out of the car right away because like so one guy goes like this, I come like this, and then one's behind me. And they're like, well, we ran your plates and the vehicle belongs to a woman. I was just like, yeah, that woman lives right there. And my
Yeah.
mom saw the light.
And wait. So
And
no, wait, you ran the place and what was the vehicle reported stolen? Oh no, it wasn't reported stolen. So get the fuck out of here.
but I see I didn't say any of that thing
I
because
know, I
A,
know,
I
I
was
know,
I
I
was
know.
too young at that time, not clever enough. And I
Yeah.
was just, the only thing I said is, well, yeah, the woman that I have the car, she lives right here. She's my mother. And my mom comes out in her nightie,
Yeah.
and man, a Jamaican woman coming out of her nightie. Yes, it was summer, but that's not somebody that you want to wake up
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
aggravate. so, so there was some words that my mom said that I didn't even understand because I
Yeah.
you know, I can understand her accent very well, like to
Yeah,
a point where I don't even hear it. But when those guys were there, I couldn't even understand it.
yeah,
My mom was saying nothing but some bad words, like "Mom was like, what
yeah,
I
yeah,
want
yeah,
to
yeah,
eat,"
yeah,
and I
yeah,
was
yeah.
like, "Whoa, this is my mother. Oh man, oh you guys are
Well,
in trouble now." I'm like, all I'm trying to do is pull into my mom's thing. Can you
yeah.
leave me alone
Well,
now?
well,
I can't.
and the biggest part of, despite our personal experiences, kind of why I want to touch on this racism thing, because there's some mess still going on. But I really, really love how France responded to the 17-year-old getting shot. I don't know if you heard about that.
No, I didn't.
Oh,
What
Malcolm,
happened?
you gotta watch the news every now and then.
I do.
Google it. Uh, I
I was
guess just
too much into
2 weeks
the
ago. No, no,
submarine that
no, no. I didn't. No, I try to. Don't get me wrong. Sometimes the news is just full of fucking doom and gloom. So but every now and
Mhm.
then, especially with w- with what we're trying to do here. So
Yeah,
not that I do have a lot of topics and materials and things that we could talk about, like basically anything really in life. But
yeah.
yeah, France. I'm assuming they haven't. I don't think I've seen any pictures or because he's a 17-year-old,
Hmm.
but I'm assuming he's a minority, right? Shot and he pulled over. He was driving. Same thing, pulled over.
Hmm.
And something went. He wasn't following instructions. Apparently, it was kind of what the news is saying, anyways. Anyways,
Yeah.
kid's dead.
Oh wow.
Fra-
Maybe you didn't
Actually,
know
what?
French.
Stop right now and Google it, because
All
France
right.
France is burning. Like people are rioting like motherfuckers.
For
Seriously,
real? Oh
for
man.
real. Over 600 people, I think, arrested or something like that. Uh, yeah, but my point is,
Oh my God, riots. Yeah, I
yeah,
see it right
yeah,
here. It's
yeah.
like the first thing that's coming up.
Oh, I love your reaction. Yeah,
Oh
yeah,
man,
yeah. Okay. And
that's
but that's
crazy.
what I mean. Like the shit that happened to George Floyd, not cool. The shit that happened to so many other people, not cool.
Yeah,
Yes, there's a
no
big
doubt.
protest over George Floyd, but there should have been protests like that country should have just every black person should have just said fuck it, marched down to the White House and said no.
Hmm.
Now, yeah, grant you it after a few deaths they are trying to make some changes, but it's still happening.
Yeah.
I haven't heard of anything recently in the U.S., but there's
Hmm.
the first time I've ever heard of this kind of thing happening in France, and
That's
the
crazy.
people spoke up. The people are speaking up. Yeah, fuck this shit.
Yeah, but you know it's crazy. Like
An
in the States.
unarmed kid,
Yeah.
unarmed, just like many in the U.S. All right.
That is insane. And look at
Yeah,
all those things.
yeah.
Like they're
It's either that
burning
or
that.
abolish guns. Don't abolish guns. No one
Mhm.
carries guns, cops or anyone, so that this just doesn't happen. Like seriously, do you really need guns to do your jobs?
I don't
Seriously,
know.
right?
And what I thought European cops all had tasers. Like what
Oh, that
happened
comes out.
to using deadly force on every single like if you want to shoot somebody, shoot them with the
Oh,
taser. At
Malcolm
least they're
though,
not dead.
but yeah, here's where you're assuming. We can't assume that everyone has common sense in that way, right?
Oh,
And
common
I
sense is
guess
not common sense, that's for sure.
in a situational thing too, though.
Hmm.
But here's the irony of that: is a situational thing. They put themselves in that, right? Like
Yeah.
they chose to go pull over this kid and kill him.
Yeah.
Like for whatever reason, they
Crazy.
chose to pull over the 17-year-old unarmed kid,
Yeah.
right?
That's
And whatever
insane.
instructions they were trying to give this kid, like the kid
Hmm.
did not flash any kind of weapon that I heard or know of, but he's
Yeah.
dead. He's
That's insane.
dead.
That is crazy. Like I want to know, and I'm going to start following this because that is just interesting, how the cops feel threatened. Because, you know, my cop friends that I have out here, one guy's name is John. We used to have some really pretty deep conversations when just before, you know, crazy things like George Floyd happened and everything like that. And I was like, tell me if you were in this situation and his usual first reaction is I'd never put myself in that situation because I don't feel danger just by looking at you. This is his reaction to me.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
And I'm like, okay, well that's fair, but like what do you think these cops were thinking? And he's like, well, in order for me to pull my gun on somebody, I'd have to feel threatened. So I can only assume that these people are feeling threatened. But like, I mean, with George Floyd, like the dude was on the ground. How do you feel
Yo,
threatened to like
I'm
choke him out?
sorry.
The 17-year old.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Okay,
Mm.
I'm sorry. Actually,
Yeah.
I'm not sorry. But let's assume I'm a cop. Okay,
Yeah.
let's assume I'm a cop.
Mm-hmm.
And 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 yeah, my job is to serve and protect. Okay.
Of course.
And that being said, If you know me at all, I love life.
Of course.
And don't get me wrong, as a cop, you want to keep the peace, but I'm not gonna go look for shit. You know what I mean? My job's to
Mm-hmm.
look out for shit, but I'm not gonna go create shit, I should say. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like there's a big difference. Like
Of
I'll
course.
look for things that don't, the things trying to be just and fair. And no, you won't always get it right. But yeah, cops are allowed to pull you over if they have a suspicion or this or that and that. That's fine, right?
Yeah.
But don't be a fucking asshole about it. And don't get me wrong, sometimes, yeah, sometimes they do get lucky and sometimes they do get an asshole that's got guns or drugs or whatever it is.
Hmm.
Whatever. Okay. They do luck out that way. But don't go looking for a fight
Right.
and then say like you're afraid for your life. You went looking for that fucking fight.
This is true. It was just, remember that incident with she went into the cop herself went into the wrong uh suite, I want to say, and
Yeah.
then she shot the guy because she thought he was in her suite. And I'm like,
Oh yes, yeah, I
how do
remember that.
you
Yeah, yeah,
think
yeah, 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 yeah,
he's
yeah, yeah,
in
yeah,
your
yeah, yeah,
suite?
yeah, yeah. I remember
Like,
that. I remember that.
that's okay
Yeah,
to make that kind of mistake
yeah,
and
yeah,
end that
yeah,
person's life,
yeah,
regardless of what color they are?
yeah.
Like, come on,
Do
man.
you ever remember what happened to that cop? I think
She was fired, but that
she
was
was
it.
okay,
Like,
but
there was
no jail
nothing.
time, no nothing, right?
No.
Yeah, it's
And
same
I
with
was just like, what?
it's same with that Breonna Taylor, right? She was
Yeah,
laying
I
in bed
think
and
that
the cops were looking for her boyfriend, but they went in with
they
guns
weren't
and
looking
everything
for the boyfriend. They had mistaken identities.
or something like
And
that. It
then
was
they were shooting, or the boyfriend
into
even shot back at them.
because they
Then
shot
they
it
hit.
at him, right? They
Yeah,
shot
first.
into that block, yeah, or into
Mhm.
their suite or something or whatever it was, yeah.
That's right.
Uh, yeah, no, dude.
It's it's crazy. But you can never
Uh,
take an American's
Second
Second
Amendment away.
Amendment away, even though they don't even read. Like, let me pull up the Second Amendment just for everybody to know, because I think the Second Amendment has been abused way too long, because everybody always shortens it. It's just like, oh, I'm going to give you the Crib Notes version. I have
Yeah,
the right to bear arms. But it doesn't just say that. Let's look at that Second Amendment. And it's funny that like nobody ever even talks about it. Second Amendment, a well-regulated militia. I don't know how come, like, unless the NRA is qualifying as a militia, being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. What does that tell us? It's like, like reading passages out of the Bible. Like, I haven't done that in ages, like since
yeah, and people
Sunday
interpreting it to
school.
suit their needs.
Yeah, exactly. Because
Yeah,
all they ever think of is, I have the right to bear arms, but they completely, the reason why those men that created the United States of America, those forefathers, we'll call them, and ratified this the 10 amendments or whatever it's called. I can't even remember what it's called. They would probably be rolling in their graves, because like it was designed to protect the new union against people from Britain coming across and trying to like steal their land or people or anything like that. So they
yeah,
were
but again,
defending themselves.
yeah, but here's where
Different.
yeah, but that's not happening now. So now it's drilled down to interpretation, right? So
That's what I'm saying.
now I gotta defend against my neighbor. He might be Brit, right? Might be Mexican,
Maybe,
right? No,
but
no,
you're
that's what
not. You're also not in an organized militia at that point
no.
in time.
Oh
You're
yeah,
just
they are.
by yourself.
But no, Malcolm, you're wrong. They are.
They are. So who's the
Well,
militia? Is it the NRA? Yeah, was I right
exactly,
in that statement? Oh,
exactly.
okay.
Because that's the marketing, right? Because
Mhm.
the NRA, their job's to pump guns into, and not just America, into Ukraine, wherever they can sell their fucking weapons, right?
Yeah,
The
yeah.
America's probably the number one weapon seller in the world, right?
Well, they
Yeah,
they do love
and so
war.
you're in business, right?
Mhm.
And you know this, right? Because a
Yeah.
big part of what you do, it's called what? Marketing,
Yes, it is.
right?
It
Right?
is. Yeah.
Right? So believe the
Right.
hype. right?
Yeah,
And so
no doubt.
that's where
The
that's where a lot of these,
propaganda, right?
yeah, exactly. So that's where a lot of these Americans are drinking the Kool-Aid. And yeah, no, I was my right to bear arms. Ping, 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 pew, 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 pew.
Yeah, so true, so very true.
Fucking idiots. Like, what? Be a man, fuck. Come, come.
Yeah,
Let's
exactly.
go.
Fight.
Let's go.
Whatever happened to that?
Right?
Like the '90s
Right?
kids and
Pussy ass
like,
motherfuckers.
you know
Oh, I
what?
shouldn't say pussy because pussy is good, but no, bitch ass motherfuckers. No, even bitches can be good. Sorry. Actually, you know what I mean? Yang and yang.
That's right.
But
You
weak
know
ass
what it
motherfuckers.
reminds me of is it reminds me of Friday. Remember what what's his face? Ice Cube's dad tells him. I know his name is not Ice Cube in the movie, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
He's like, son, you don't know, you don't need that. When we were growing up, we just need this
Exactly.
and this.
This,
You
yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah,
What
that's it.
difference does it make?
Yeah.
Nobody
Yeah.
ever dies from that. You know?
Well, people can, but
Well, they can. I mean, if you're
takes a
going
lot.
up
It takes a
against
lot more.
Mike Tyson,
It takes a lot more guts, I think, to go up. You know what I mean? And
yeah, exactly.
and plus, to beat somebody to the point of death, I think there's a real, because
Well,
I think
you
there's
have to
less
be
thought to
American
just.
history
Well,
expert.
I think there's less thought to just shoot somebody, right?
Oh yeah,
Than to actually go up to somebody and try and beat them to death,
it
because
can
they might actually
literally be
fight
an
back.
impulse
Yeah.
in this
Yeah.
way. Yeah,
Right. Right.
and it's just like you were saying in the beginning of this whole conversation is I don't want to be punched in the face.
No,
Neither do you.
no,
So this
exactly,
is why people
exactly. But
don't do
if
that,
you
right?
have a gun, or if I have a gun and you don't, guess what? You're fucked.
Yeah,
If
exactly,
I
right?
choose, right? It's like that little bitch ass kid, that little white kid that went in the riot with a rifle and shot a bunch of people and claimed self defense and got
Yes,
off, motherfucker.
right.
Right?
Well, not only
Somebody
that,
there.
like the cops when they stopped him or caught
Yeah,
him,
yeah.
gave him water, a burger,
Oh
and
yeah,
whatever, and
yeah,
then
yeah,
it's
yeah,
like,
yeah,
oh, are
yeah,
you
yeah.
okay, and everything
White
like that.
power.
Dude was like running around with a rifle. Like,
Yeah.
come on,
Or
are you
pink power.
kidding
Sorry,
me?
pink power. Pink skin power. No, I'm just kidding. Lighter shade of brown power.
That is classic.
But
Oh yeah, that was a really messed up thing. Actually, did he go to jail? I
no,
think he did.
no, no,
No, he
no,
didn't.
no, no, no. He got off. He's free.
Kid
Yeah, he's free.
walking around in
Rifle. I think his first name was Kyle. Kyle Wright. Actually, if you type in Kyle, something will probably come up. Kyle Wright. Kyle R something.
Kyle Rittenhouse.
That's it.
Oh yeah,
That's
that's him.
a piece of
Yeah,
shit. That's him.
Rittenhouse. Okay. Lawsuit. Rittenhouse is an American who shot 3 men, 2 fatally, during the civil unrest in Kenosha, Wisconsin. Blah blah blah.
Yeah, he was
His
acquitted.
defense lawyer argued he was acted in self-defense. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
See,
yeah.
how the hell is that self-defense when
Exactly.
you knowingly go
Mow
into
people down that
Yeah.
didn't. Yeah. So this is what I mean, and grant you, yeah, if he didn't have guns, if they didn't have guns, maybe they might have beat the shit out of him. I don't know, but
Yeah.
from what I saw, I didn't see anybody threaten this fucking kid.
No, he was
Like,
like
he was
literally
walking
walking down
very
the
freely.
street with
Yeah.
his like. And think about it:
if
if
anything,
somebody is walking down the street with a freaking semi-automatic rifle, are you going to approach that person unless
No,
you have a gun? I'm not going near him.
well, exactly what I was gonna say is because if anything, to me, he looked more threatening
Yeah.
than anybody I saw in that.
Oh,
even
for sure.
even the armed guards or the armed police that were on the scene, that kid seemed more threatening to me.
There you go. Oh yeah, and you're right. He is acquitted of all charges.
Yeah.
In the trial over. Oh man, that's crazy. How is it that people see and the United States believes that there is no racism, that racism is not that big a deal when something like this happens? Well,
no, racism is a bigger deal, but it's only a bigger deal to those that are affected by it.
Well,
right?
of course, yeah, it is.
The ones being racist don't give a fuck, right? And unfortunately, in the U.S. and even here, they're the ones because again, like I said, even in Africa, there's racism. I mean, South Africa infamously, but I promise you, in Nigeria and Ghana, there's everywhere. Okay, and these are like because there's darker shades of black, you're caramel, or brown. There's
That's
like
right.
dark chocolate, like
Yeah.
and as my mom would put the dark chocolate, call the dark chocolate people bush people. All right.
There you go.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. Just
But
different variations of like racism, right? Like
yeah,
just
but or stereotyping, but it isn't the hateful racism where someone's gonna pick up a gun and go kill somebody because of their skin color,
right.
right? Or go out of their way to be asked. Like, and if you ever get a chance to go to Africa, you'll see like you, people talk, people have opinions,
Yeah.
but no one's gonna go kill somebody because they look different. Or it just doesn't happen.
See?
They might
And
steal your shit, but don't kill you.
so true.
They'll leave you to get more
So
shit so
true.
they can steal your shit later too.
That's right. That's right. See? That's the same thing with Jamaica, but actually in Jamaica, they will steal your shit, and if you don't give it willingly, they may stab
They'll
you.
fuck you up. Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
or cut you with a machete. Just
yeah,
one of the two things.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
But other than that, it's all right.
Well,
Like
again, even a machete, you gotta get close enough with a machete, right? Whereas, America is just a gun, pow,
this is true, and it's just like,
pow, pow,
that's
pow,
life
pew, pew, pew,
ending. There you go. I got you.
pew, pew, pew. Fuck that place. No,
Yeah.
seriously. No, if honestly, if I would personally, if I had the power, I would get rid of every single fucking gun on this planet.
That would be a tough thing to do. Not even
Not
Superman
really.
himself
Not
could get
not
done
really.
that.
Not really. Not really. Not really. Actually, it is tough because no one's because you saw how I think the truckers here pretty much put an end, I think, to the COVID nonsense with the shit they pulled in Ottawa.
Oh, you
The
mean
same
by
thing,
like,
cutting off the supply
parking and
chain,
yeah.
cutting off the supply chain, fucking blocking. There's no trade happening because it blocked all the major arteries.
Mm-hmm.
From the U.S. to um, I'm 99.9% sure that it isn't by coincidence that they dropped all the shit with COVID
Mm-hmm.
after the truckers revolt, like pull that fucking coup or that boycott shit. And I guess my point is, to me, that told me something because that same thing could happen with racism, could happen with guns. The things just like France, how people are up in arms over this kid getting shot. People just need to say as unite and say fuck this, not right. We ain't having it. Fuck off.
Yeah. But
You know
you
what I
know
mean?
what? I feel that there is not enough people on the side of we don't need guns that would make it mostly impossible, because like just like we were saying, like in the United States, they feel that's the right, and
No,
then obviously
they
I
feel,
know,
okay?
and
Because here's
then
where you go to
they
some other
outnumber us.
countries. I think it's Singapore. I can't remember where there's no guns at all. I think it's
Well,
Singapore.
England doesn't have
Actually,
guns unless you're
actually,
part of the SWAT.
Google what country does not have guns? I think it's Singapore. Even the cops don't carry guns, okay? And
Yeah.
they're fine. There's
No guns
what
in
country has no
country.
guns?
Oh yeah, that would make more sense. What
Yeah,
country
yeah. What country has
has
no guns?
no guns? Okay, there we go.
Oh, there's quite a few. Brunei,
Brunei. Oh, Brunei is a
Cambodia,
big one. Yeah.
Comoros,
Cambodia.
Timor,
I would
Eritrea. Oh, look at all these
never.
African places. Maldives. Okay, I got some spots to move to. North Korea. North Korea.
What? No, that can't be right. North
Oh,
Korea has
the
to have
countries
guns.
that ban guns are, yeah, they ban guns. There's a ban. Vatican City,
Wow. Well, Vatican
Somalia,
City. I mean,
Somalia.
like
I guess after the war they had, maybe I could see that.
that's
Wow, eh?
so, really.
Yeah,
When
countries
did
there.
Somalia?
So there is countries where guns are illegal. So it is possible, bro. You see that?
That's crazy. Somalia. I just
I
don't.
actually I'm surprised Singapore isn't on here though. I thought I heard Singapore somewhere like that.
When did Somalia ban guns? Because I mean, remember when Canada, um, what's it called, allowed a whole bunch of Somalian refugees to come into the country, and they mostly
Yeah.
settled in Winnipeg.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
then they formed some of those crazy. Oh no, wait, that was Sudanese, not Somalia. Ooh, this is different. Okay,
But I think there was fighting Somalia too, if I recall. I'll Google that.
maybe.
But guess what? What's the population of Canada?
Uh, just under 40 million, I want to say. Like
You want to Google it?
38.
I think Google it if you don't mind.
No more, no worries. I'll do
'Cause,
that.
I'm about to enlighten you, because I just got enlightened.
Okay. Let's see. Populate, yeah, 38.25 million as of 2021.
Okay. Hold on.
So what
Okay.
happened? Yeah, yeah. I can
Okay.
hear.
So what's the population?
38.25.
38 point. Okay. So what's 38 point what?
38.25. So
38.25.
38,250,000 people.
So there's 7.1 million handguns in civilian hands in Canada.
Wow. 7 million. Okay. That's a pretty high number.
Right?
Yeah, yeah. So
Right?
then in terms of like,
So what is that? What percentage of the population is that? 7 divided by 38. Was that 18%? Is that right?
yeah, that's not too bad. Not too bad. Not too bad. Gun population in the States. I bet you this will
Oh,
be,
way higher.
oh, it'll be astronomical.
Yeah. Are you Googling?
Yeah, yeah.
Or as my mom would say, oogle,
Puppy.
oogle, 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 oogle.
Oh my God.
How much?
It's basically one for every person that lives there. Well,
What?
and plus, yeah, it's 30. The estimated number is 393 million
Shut
firearms in
up.
this state. This is what it's saying
By civilians or just
by civilians.
how much? 300 and
393.
393 million?
Yeah,
Isn't there only
393
like
million.
330 million people in the US?
Yep, that's correct.
So some people got more than one gun to boot. I'm sure that
Oh,
some people
they
probably got.
have
Are
multiple.
you kidding me right now?
No, and look at this. It says about 46% of the worldwide
Wow.
total of civilian handheld firearms are there. Like that's
Wow.
crazy.
That
393 million. You wonder why people like Kyle had a full-on arsenal on their backside
hmm.
walking down the street
I don't know
because
why I'm
every
shocked.
them.
I don't know why I'm shocked by that number, but I'm shocked by that number.
Well, it is a pretty staggering number because I mean, like that's insane. That's like one for everybody on there. See,
Yo,
it says
hey,
there is
yo,
120.5 firearms for every 100 American residents. 120 for every 100. So there's more.
and I bet you that number's gonna go up because somebody's gonna keep making that cheddar. The
Oh, you know it.
NRA,
You know.
NRA, money,
Oh
money, money,
yeah.
money, money.
Do they have
Mother,
to pay into the NRA? I'm gonna look that up.
do you have to pay to the NRA?
Yeah, I think you do. Do you have to
Like to be a member?
pay
Well, yeah,
for NRA and
well, a
RA
gun
membership?
license, but I don't know if the gun license is like for each state or if it's like a
Well,
federal thing.
that keep in mind the NRA is not um it's not like their American registry. It's just the thing that
National Rifle Association, right?
that's right. It's just an
Yeah.
association. It's not the registry or anything like that. That's completely
Oh, I don't know
different.
if it's just an association because they're largely responsible for the arms for guns and the movement of guns,
It's
from what I
40
understand.
it's $45 a year.
$45 to be a member. How many members do they have? Out of curiosity.
That that's exactly where I was gonna go with you. And NRA
So
population.
this is almost like two segments here: racism and guns. See?
Totally. Let's see.
I guess it all ties in considering guns what's killing
Wow.
our brothers and sisters down south. How many members?
It apparently it's dropped to 4.3 million. But that's almost as many guns as we have in Canada. Handguns
So
in
so they got
Canada.
4.3 million members, but
Yeah.
almost 400 million guns on the
Go figure.
right?
That's American math for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh man.
Well, mind you, I don't know how many of those that almost 400 million guns are licensed though as well. Well, actually, they all
Oh,
must
that's
be. They all must be if they have the number for it. You know what I mean? If there's a number
oh
for it.
for sure. Look at this. 41% of the National Rifle Association of America employees are women, while 59% are men. Oh, and then where is it? The most commonly ethnicity is white, 64%. 64%. So their membership is high in white. Yes.
Yeah,
15%
I don't
of the
think.
national
Um,
and 16% are black.
how
That's
much?
something.
16? 16?
16% is black, and then 64% is white. So then together, that already makes up 80%. So 80% of the card holding members of the NRA are black or white.
Yeah. So
And then
here's
20%
a
white plus the rest.
and so here's a function of the NRA. It was founded in 1871
Holy
as a
crap, that's crazy.
recreational group
Mm-hmm.
designed to promote and encourage rifle shooting. The National Rifle Association has grown into one of the most powerful political organizations in the
Oh, yeah.
US. It lobbies heavily against all forms of gun control and argues
Not a shocker.
aggressively
Mm-hmm.
that more guns make the country safer.
And this is why there's 393 million guns. That's
Marketing,
crazy.
marketing, marketing.
Mm-hmm.
It's about your
And
safety.
that's right.
Uncle
They're
Sam
not
wants
safe
you to be
unless you
safe.
have a gun. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah. I don't feel safer at all. I better go get me a gun.
That's right. You best be doing
You
that.
all?
Be safe, dog.
Fucking
That is
for
crazy.
civilized society, what a bunch of dumbasses. Like seriously.
I know.
Seriously.
I know. And
Seriously.
we just follow them anywhere. So it's a wild, wild thing. Hey, they love the Wild West. I guess that's what it's all about.
Yeah, dude. No, don't get me wrong. Like, there's, you know, people make money in different ways.
Mm-hmm.
That's just one way I'm not done with
I feel
at
you.
all. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's somebody's living, but
Mm-hmm.
that they you know they need to scrub that and find a different way to make a living. I'm sorry. Like that's
Oh,
just
for sure. But
that's
you know what? You gotta feed the war machine, which is the United States of America. They
no, you
have
ain't gotta feed
probably.
it. You ain't gotta feed, but yeah, they are
Oh
feeding it.
no,
That's
I'm
what
saying
yeah. Yeah,
that's
yeah, 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 yeah,
their
yeah,
whole
yeah.
thing,
Yeah, that's what's yeah. No, I get it. I get that.
because that's war has kept the United States on top for a very long time. And if you think about it, it's almost like it's all about the competition. And if they can't win, they might have to infiltrate. You know what I mean? They might have to be like, well, how do we get what they have?
Actually, to be honest with you, I don't know if they even really give a shit about winning. To be honest with you,
No, they
like
just
look at the shit.
want to.
Like yeah, they just want to like sell weapons. They
Yeah,
want to utilize weapons.
that's right.
They want to use ammunition and because look at the shit they did in Afghanistan. How many years did they spend there and they just pulled out? Right?
Well,
Was
I
it
know.
Afghanistan? Right?
No, no, you're right. It was
Right?
Afghanistan, and that was since
Yeah.
wasn't that since no, Saddam Hussein was the blah blah war. So then that since
Yeah, no, it was
2001.
Afghanistan. Afghanistan, I think just a couple of years ago, just recently, they just pulled out. They said
Yeah,
after
that was
20
that
some
was since
after so I don't know how many
2001.
decades. Yeah, I don't know how many
Yeah,
decades of occupying there.
yeah, and it only happened. So some people say it was under Trump's regime. Some people say it was under Obama's regime. So let's just split the hairs and call it like 2019 or 2020. So
Yeah.
yeah, it was like 19 years of occupying that area. I'm surprised that they didn't make them sign some of these agreements that they've done in the past. Like, the United States has a right to like kind of occupy Japan. And at one point in time, Japan could not have its, and I want to make it, I think this is right, couldn't have its own army and navy without being under the umbrella of the United States, like without
Oh.
the United States having a say so. So it is literally all about war because they have like some of the biggest bases I've ever seen
Yeah.
on the planet right in Japan. Like there's one in Okinawa, which is like this beautiful island, set of islands that are in Japan. There's
Yeah.
one in Yokohama, which is another massive. And Yokohama is right outside of Tokyo. If the United States wants to screw up Japan, they just roll right out out their gate, and they're like, "Yep, we're going to destroy everything there." But that's their gateway close to Russia, right?
Yeah.
They even have, I want to say, they even have a base in Hokkaido, and Hokkaido almost touches Russia, right?
Yeah.
So they can deploy things like that.
Yeah. Speaking of Russia, where are they getting their weapons from? China, I guess? Because Russia and China are kind of tight right now, aren't they?
They are tight, but I'm not sure. Like
I don't
they
think
could be
Russia makes
even
any
getting it.
weapons really to
Oh,
speak of.
we never know what Russia is doing, man. I
Yeah, that's
mean,
true. That's
they
true.
could be building all sorts of crazy shit.
Yeah, that's true.
You know
That's
what I
true too.
mean? It's like some pretty. They're innovative.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wait,
Well,
weapons
yeah.
manufacturers companies.
Well,
Like,
yeah, those are two things. I mean, I got zero tolerance for which is, war,
mm-hmm,
guns, and racism. Like, I mean, seriously, like, uh, it's just some basic things that, we try to teach our kids not to fight and
mm-hmm.
and to be respectful. And what do these countries do? Really? Seriously?
Yeah. Act like
They give you
children.
bullshit with Russia and Ukrainian. They should be
Mm-hmm.
pushing resolution versus, oh, here's 500 mil. Here's more weapons. Here's more tanks. Here's this. Keep the
Yeah.
fight going.
Yeah. There you go. Destroy each other.
Yeah,
Sweet.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
I know what you mean.
seriously. Like uh I just don't quite get it in that sense.
Nor do I, man. It's out there. Like
Yeah,
we have gone to. We're trying to
like
preach
like 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 for
tolerance in the
example,
world good.
Russia, still has flights in and out of that country, right?
Mm-hmm.
They have international flights. They have people from Russia going out. They have people going into Russia, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I know they put like embargoes and all this other stuff, but maybe put an embargo on them to sit down and talk. Like just
Yeah.
fucking,
Yeah. Nobody's gonna help anybody.
yeah,
You guys
just,
sit at the
yeah,
table and
yeah, like
learn.
not Russia, not Ukraine. Airplanes can fly out of the country anywhere until they sit down and talk and get the shit resolved or something. You know what I mean? Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's just like let's end this fucking thing.
Yeah,
Versus
your
here's
people
more
are
guns.
dying.
Yeah, people are dying. People are getting misplaced. People are like, yeah, it's just, and it's kind of like,
Yeah, I know. It's like, what do we do? Well, maybe let's
what you
try
do
to
is fucking
stop
look at what
them.
France is doing. Look at what
Yeah.
France is doing. That's what you fucking do, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is what Russian, because even like a lot of Russian people don't want to be, young men don't want to be fighting this fucking some Putin's war here. Like
Mm-hmm.
a lot of them are fleeing.
Well, yeah.
But
They're
here's,
probably scared for their life because Putin
well,
is a
again, I don't know,
different kind of cat, right?
I don't know what the population in Russia is, but Putin's one person.
Yeah, this is true. But I mean, he's one person that has, like, this is how gangster Putin is.
No, listen though. This is, and to me, anyways,
Yeah.
because this is a problem. People don't band together for a common goal, in my opinion, or common cause, and everyone just
Because
thinks someone else is going to fix the problem. But if
yeah,
everyone banded together, and like say the population, there's say 100 people, if 80 of them banded together and say "fuck you, Putin," what are the other 20 going to do?
yeah,
Where are they
this
going
is
to go?
true. This
What
is
can
very
you
true.
do, right?
Yeah.
Because I can promise you, without even asking, the majority of them don't support this fight, don't support this killing, don't agree with.
Probably not.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. But here's the thing that I
Hey, bud.
realized. Where you go? Here's the
It's
thing
just,
I realized about Putin. Like, they had a similar structure to my understanding from what I read as to like, politics just like us, 4-year terms, and then you can get voted in and again. And
oh, but he
Putin
never
just,
loses. He never loses.
no, it wasn't even him saying he's gonna lose. He said, no, I'm going to be here for the
Oh,
next, I think he said the next 99 years or something
I
like
thought
that.
he had a race. I thought they had some sort of election a while ago. I
So
thought.
here's the messed up thing about Russia. They have a prime minister and they have a president. And guess
Uh,
who? Putin is. Putin is the president.
He's a top.
So
Yeah.
I was like, how does this work?
Yeah.
Whoever knows. The president obviously has ultimate power, and the other guy is a figurehead at
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
point.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, it's kind of
Oh,
interesting.
I
We
guess
should
they
get
set up
into
like so
that
because
one day.
some companies have like a president and then they have a
CEO.
vice president, right?
Yeah.
So probably the same idea or CEO, yeah.
Yeah, but they do have like
Because
I
the
don't
way
think they have a vice president. I think they have like a
well see because here's where for example in
opposition
Canada
party
we've got a prime minister,
and
but then we've
opposition
got
party.
and then an opposition party, but
Hmm.
then too with the prime minister he's got a bunch of what do you call the
His deputies and his
provincial
MLAs, right?
uh, um
Oh,
not mayors but
premiers.
premiers, right?
Yeah.
So I'm assuming in Russia that must be the same idea with the president and the president being like Trudeau and his or sorry, which was Putin president, right?
Putin is a president, but
And then
he
and he's got
created president, and then he has a premier or a
a
prime
premier,
minister,
a
and
prime
then he
minister.
has people in each
Okay,
each
jurisdiction kind of or
yeah,
area as
exactly,
well. Okay, okay,
area,
okay, okay.
county and stuff.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah,
it's but I'm pretty sure, let me just double check. Let's instead of me being pretty sure, did Putin create
yeah. So
the
he's
presidency?
he's basically created an assistant.
Pretty much, yeah. Because he just turned around and just said, "No, you're not
Yeah,
gonna. I'm elected forever." See, this is so funny. He was his own incumbent,
yeah.
Vladimir Putin, since 2012, dude. 2012. That's insanity.
And
And see,
that's when he took power.
no, that's the second time he took power because it shows right here. Let's see. Where is it? Where is it?
Okay,
In all
yeah.
cases where the
Since 2000, Putin's been in power.
yeah, 23 years, dude. 23 years. That's not bars. It's so crazy.
Oh, there's another guy in between that I didn't even know of. Sorry, I gotta go this way because the sun I can't really see on my phone here.
No worries.
But
Mm-hmm.
Putin came in 2000 till '08. Then another guy came in that we've never even heard of or I've never heard of.
Who is the other guy?
Dmitry Medvedev
Oh, I've never heard of him.
from 2008 to 2012. And then
Gotcha.
Putin came back on from 2012 to present.
Yeah, as president though.
Yeah, he was president in '08 as well,
Yeah.
according to
Oh,
this
he
thing.
was a president in 08?
Yeah, here I'll send this to you.
I thought he was
Or from 2000 to I think what does it say?
2000 to 2008.
8. Yeah,
And
that's what this said.
then from so wait a second. Look at this here. In office. It says 7th of May 2000 to 7th of May 2008. Acting in the 31st of December 1999 to okay, so that's a very short stint. And then during that time, he's had these 1, 2, 3, 4 prime ministers. Oh yeah, I remember Boris Yeltsin. Wow,
Yeah.
this is crazy. And see, this is the stuff that we actually know about him. What about the stuff that we don't know? Because
Right.
he was like the head of the KGB and all sorts of crazy stuff like that. So the guy is like literally a spy, or like just he's hardcore, man.
Oh,
And it's pretty nutty. One of these days we should read up on him and have a discussion about him because I heard something about him as to why he wants to go into Ukraine and everything like that, and people say it's mostly because NATO infringed on what they promised by going into Belarus
for something
and
like
stuff.
that too. Yeah.
So we should definitely research it and talk about it because I think people think that he's just insane, but I mean, I think all the people that are kind of puppeteering or working around like
yeah,
different.
you know what? When this first started out, from what I understood of it,
Hmm.
I kind of felt like he was standing up for his rights.
Hmm.
But once you start killing innocent people, you're just a fucking asshole to me.
Yeah,
You're just
there
a
you go.
fucking dickhead to me.
He
You know what
is.
I mean?
Oh
And
yeah,
and
for sure.
and what I mean by innocent people is you're not targeting people that are like there's rules of engagement, right? And you know, here's where you know Ukraine's got an army, you have an army, and
Mhm.
you know that's the army is supposed to be fighting, not the civilians, not you know, you're not supposed
Exactly.
to be bombing apartment blocks and all this other shit. Like
No,
you know,
you shouldn't.
that's just you know,
But they're just going at it. Look at this, Prokhorov. I thought this guy was, yeah. Look at him, right cause, leader of the right cause. So these are all
because
the different Democratic parties, I guess.
because to me it's like it's like a boxers, you know, boxers instead of fighting the other boxer in the ring, they're jumping out the ring and knocking out everybody in
Yeah,
ringside
exactly. It's like
for you know what I mean? Yeah,
everybody gets hit.
yeah. Everybody, you get it. You get it.
Yeah, you get
You
this,
get one
you
too.
get that one. Yeah, there you go. I got something for you too. It's wild, man. It's
And
wild.
and again, how Saddam Hussein has been tried and hung and killed for war crimes, and Putin is still running free. I have no idea. Because
I
to
don't
me,
know.
bombing and targeting and killing innocent people, that's as big a war crime as war crimes get, in my eyes,
Well, it's genocide, right?
right?
You're going and
Because there are people that
killing them.
enlist to fight in the war, and so those
Hmm.
are to me the people you should be fighting and targeting. Because what is your point? What is your objective? Isn't your objective to make Ukraine bow down? And how are you going to make Ukraine bow down by bombing innocent people versus the people that are actually going to be fighting you?
Exactly. It ain't right. It ain't right. But they're doing their
Right?
thing, man. Man,
It's all
they're
just
just
stupid to me. It's all just
yeah.
stupid to me. Anyways, it really is because and it's uh, as far as I'm concerned, and to me, even the Russian people should be revolting, if anybody, more so than anyone, because uh, to don't get me wrong, because I know when this thing first started, I felt like Putin might, I felt he might be somewhat justified in terms of what he was standing up for.
Right.
But to me, once you start killing civilians and just have disregard for human
For
life,
all human life, yeah.
yeah, then you're just a fucking asshole. Period.
There you go.
You know, to sign off on a war, you're an asshole to begin with, as is. But
Hmm.
you're another level of assholishness when you start killing civilians.
There you go. It's just like
You know what I
there's
mean?
levels to these
Yeah,
things,
yeah,
and
yeah.
you
And
were
here's to
right
you.
here,
And here's
and
to
then
you,
you're now
Putin.
here.
Fuck you, Putin. Fuck you.
We're
And
already canceled in Russia.
NRA, you too.
Oh, and now we're canceling the United States. Damn! Before we even
Well, no,
started.
NRA. Not everybody in the U.S. Yeah,
No worries. So now we're gonna go
and we're
live.
gonna cancel racism too.
Hell yeah, let's do
Yeah,
that. Let's
fuck
make it
that.
happen. Right on.
Right?
Well, my brother, this has been a
Okay.
great conversation yet
Yeah,
again.
yeah, yeah.
Same time next week, and then
Same time, same bat
we're
station,
gonna
same bat channel.
you damn straight, and then we're gonna actually so I'm uploading them to YouTube, so then people will be able to subscribe. So it'll be
Yeah,
good.
and so yeah, and yes. So should we have a recording at the end? Just like and subscribe, or a little blurb, like and subscribe,
Yeah,
comments below, whatever, you know, just
you got
feedback.
it. We want your
Awesome.
comments. We're gonna talk about it, and then go from there.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah, man, we'll do
Awesome.
it up.
All right,
Right
brother.
on, brother. I'll
Enjoy your
talk to you
day.
soon.
You
Later
bet.
on.
Bye bye.
You
All
too.
right.
Cheers, man. Bye. My man.